The Senzo Meyiwa murder trial has been postponed to tomorrow for legal representatives to go into a pre-trial conference today. The trial started anew with retired Judge Ratha Mokgoatlheng presiding over the matter. Newzroom Afrika's Mnisi was in court and is standing by with an update. Is it safe to say that it has started as yet? Have the accused pleaded, Linda?
Well, the accused have not pleaded yet, Daniel. Remember, it got off to a slow start with legal representatives going to the judge's chambers to engage the retired judge, Ratha Mokgoatlheng, who's now the new presiding judge over this matter. So after that, of course, you would have seen the judge walking into court where they discussed a couple of issues, including whether or not the rights were read out and explained to the accused persons who stand accused, of course, of the murder of soccer sensation Senzo Meyiwa. And those, it looks like, are the minor or the issues that have to be dealt with early before we get into the crux of the matter, the rights of the accused in this particular matter. But also, you'll also remember that we come from a point where there was a previous trial, right? And what the judge had to be satisfied with is that the previous trial was declared a nullity. Therefore, the state having to, hand out an order that was handed down on Friday, declaring that previous trial that was presided over by Judge Maumela a nullity. In that order, it was also declared that a new trial starts de novo, which means a new trial starts afresh. So all those, nitty-gritties had to be dealt with prior to, of course, the trial getting ahead. It looks like, of course, there's also the issue around the costs, and we heard how legal representatives would have to, of course, take instructions emanating, of course, from that pre-trial conference that they're going to have with the state as well as other legal representatives around what exactly needs to happen going forward. But the legal representatives also telling the court that they would have to, of course, sign a form with Legal Aid South Africa, I beg your pardon, which then essentially means that, the state would be footing the bill going forward in this new trial of course, the legal representatives. You'll remember that, this trial starts afresh and not because of any delays, particularly from the accused person. So the issue around costs really becomes one that they have to grapple with. So they've gone now into a pre-trial conference to discuss not only issues of cost, but also the evidence that the state will bring in this new trial against the accused persons. The state has told the court that nothing has changed and the indictment is still the same. But of course, the legal representatives say they don't want to take for granted the kind of evidence that will be brought before this court. So it is important then to go through everything that the state will be bringing against the 5 accused before this matter. So at this point, they're going to a pre-trial conference and they'll be engaging and ultimately taking instructions from their clients on how to go forward. They have not pleaded yet, which means that this trial cannot go ahead. So they've opted to go to a pre-trial conference and have a look at what the state has before coming back to plead. Tutu?
Quickly for us, because the new judge was quite eager to begin, Linda Mnisi, and saying that, well, can he not make an order for legal aid to actually come to that court, given that they're 10 minutes away? Have they since arrived?
Well, it's unclear, as you would see behind me, court has adjourned and all legal representatives have gone, of course, to their own respective offices. In fact, they've gone to have that pre-trial conference, we're told, in the offices of the prosecutor, where, of course, all of those issues will be deliberated. But also, it's quite important to actually take a look at how the judge was conducting proceedings today, really making sure that we get through everything that needs to happen, particularly when it comes to the little or the minor issues around, accused persons having been served with indictments, given that it is, of course, a new trial, but also looking at, of course, explaining their rights to them so that they know and they understand that everything that happened before law would not apply in this new trial. All the proceedings that happened before this are nullified, and that this is like they were arrested yesterday, essentially. It starts from afresh and gives, of course, all legal representatives a fresh start on a clean slate to get to understand better what is being brought against them before they get to a point where they plead.
Mnisi, thank you very much for that update.